Sure.
Hello, everyone. It is Talk to Aitan, episode 14, and today we have David Putnam. How are you doing, David?
Pretty good. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, welcome to the show. And yeah, let's get the show on the road. So yeah, David, tell us about yourself. Where are you based, first of all?
I live in Denver, Colorado. We're just known for our mountains here. I go skiing at 3,000 meters on a regular basis. So yeah, I'm right sort of in the middle of the United States.
Have you always lived there? Born and bred?
What's that?
Have you always lived there in Denver?
Yeah, I have always lived there.
You've always lived there. Okay. And yeah, what is it? So yeah, what do you do for a living? What do you do in your general day-to-day life?
Okay, well, I'm in auto insurance, so it has its moments. It's kind of exciting. Sometimes we go around and look at wrecked cars and type up on the computer and evaluate the damages. And the best part is when at the end of the claim, you hand the customer a big check. So I write checks for about $2 million a year.
Have you ever had one yourself? You ever made a big claim yourself of that amount?
No, I don't. I don't need to have an auto claim myself, but I do have a car, and I like cars. I've always known a lot about cars. It's sort of when you growing up where I grew up and with the circumstances, we always fixed our own cars.
Why is that? What is it where you lived or this particular circumstances?
Yeah, well, everybody was into cars. You know, my dad was into cars, and my friends were into cars, and so I like, for example, on two of my cars, I changed them from automatic to manual transmission. I did that myself. So that's kind of
okay.
Yeah. It's complicated, but it's kind of fun. I've always had an affinity for little technical things like that.
So we can say that that is one of your hobbies, is working your cars.
It's one of them, yeah.
Okay.
But not too often anymore. As much as I do all my own maintenance. That's the important thing.
I always ask this, but like, what is there to do in Denver?
Excuse me?
What is there to do in Denver? What for
what is it
the local for the locals and for tourists? Like, what will they do in Denver to visit?
Tourism is very big, very huge here. Yeah, because of the mountains. It's really like this is a great time of year right now. The fall has come and the snow is falling and the ski resorts are open. We have 27 ski resorts here. So yeah, that's mainly what people come here. There's a lot of things. There's concerts that happen here. We have a concert venue, and I like to do rock climbing. That's one of the fitness activities.
Yeah, I mean, just mentioning that. Obviously, health and fitness is most likely important to you. Yeah, what kind of health and what kind of training do you do in your free time?
Well, I do a lot of yoga. I belong to a gym, and that gym offers yoga classes. I went last night, do some cardio with them, and then mostly the most important thing is probably that first 30 minutes of the day. To get up every morning and before coffee or anything like that, I just start exercising and stretch out and, loosen up, and I do some physical therapy in the mornings.
Okay.
So yeah, and then by the end of the day, I'm looking at doing either cardio or some yoga or something like that to help me get to sleep. And on the weekend, then I'm rock climbing or skiing.
You mentioned physiotherapy. You have injuries? You have some injuries?
Yeah, I just have some back issues.
Back issues, okay.
Not too bad. They're not like an injury. It's like I've just had them all my life. So I got a physical therapist, and she's provided an excellent program. But it's just something you can do for yourself. You don't necessarily have to go in all the time. It's a training. It's training.
Okay. So you're doing it yourself. You're doing it yourself, or you do it with the trainer? With the physiotherapist?
I do it myself.
Oh, you do it yourself? Oh, okay.
I've been seeing her. I was seeing her like twice a week, but now I'm that sort of protocol has ended, and I'm just seeing her maybe once a month.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Self education and self training is very important for everyone to.
Yeah, for sure. You're a trainer yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just moving on slightly. So how did you get involved in Aphro-D? How did you find it? What were you looking for?
Well, I was an online men's group, and it was sort of a support group, and it's an international, and you'd like that part, being international
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
We had member in Slovakia, I think. Yeah, I got a couple guys in South Africa, and we got some Americans, and one guy in Colombia and one in Iran.
Uh-huh.
And so through this men's group, we were just sort of supporting one another through various difficulties. And one of the guys mentioned doc testosterone. And so that was in 2015, I want to say. So that program was in its infancy. And if I recall right, correct me if I'm wrong, Aphrodite didn't come out till 2018, right?
Around that sort of period, yeah. Around that kind of period, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we had different names. It was like the Doc Testosterone Tribe or whatever, or the Testosterone Transformation. And anyway, we were doing what we were trying to do before Aphrodite. We did it with diet and exercise. And my diet changed big time when I started following the suggestions. The most important pieces of that being kale and avocados. That's what Farhan said to eat. So I started eating them every day. So we did that. And then we were experimenting around with various herbs that Farhan came up with. And then he developed the product, the Aphro-D.
Tell me, when you were just eating the kale and avocado, what changes were you having? Just from that?
I was getting a little bit better. I was probably having a little bit more morning wood, not as much as now, but
okay.
And then maybe some weight loss, probably about 5 pounds. I generally my weight stays pretty stable. I don't generally go up more than 3 or 5. So I say a kilo or 2, I think.
So tell me the evolution. So you did the kale and the avocado for a while, and then what was the next step after that for you in terms of diet changes?
For me, definitely removing things from the diet. And some of these steps I had taken years prior, but I'd already removed alcohol from the diet, so that was a big one for me. And then I quit drinking coffee.
Okay.
And cut out a lot of the sugar, probably about 90%. I don't eat but like maybe a cookie a week or something like that. Gluten, remove that from the diet. And then just made sure I only drank filtered water. That was a big Farhan thing. Farhan was explaining that there's some sort of hormones or estrogen or something like that in the water.
Heavy metals as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So I cut back to, I didn't drink tap water anymore. That was something that I cut out. So yeah, definitely cutting things out of the diet.
Cutting. And and what about and how about now? So how are you eating now? Like, you've been taking Aphrodite for what, 6 years now, I guess, going on 6 years?
No, it's only been developed for 3 years.
3 years. So how long have you been taking it for?
3.
3. You've actually taken 3. Okay.
As soon as it came out, yeah.
Okay.
I think you know Imran, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked to Imran. I think we agreed it came out in the late summer, fall of 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's fairly recent. But yeah, so there's that. Things are good today. Just that one has one's trials and tribulations, but I seem to have developed some anti-aging mechanisms to be at the age that I'm at and still be able to do all the mountain stuff. Doing the mountain stuff is critical here in our culture.
Have you added more foods now to your diet? You said you removed, but have you added more since in the last 3 years?
let's see. Maybe a little bit cleaner proteins, I would say. No, I'd like to add more things to the diet, I think. I don't have a ton of variety in my diet. Oh yeah, I know what I did. I quit eating dinner. That was
Oh,
part of the key for me.
that's interesting.
It was a big breakfast and a big lunch, and skip dinner and go to the gym.
Ah,
So some would call that intermittent fasting.
yes.
For me, I just sleep better if I'm not busy processing food while I'm sleeping.
And how, yeah, to tell me about, or tell us about the effects of Aphro-D, like when you first started taking it to now, because yeah.
No, it was crazy. It was crazy. When I was taking the recommended dose at first, I would wake up in the middle of the night with an erection like 3 times.
Okay.
So it's you don't get a whole lot of sleep under those
Yeah.
circumstances. So I had to cut back, and it worked very, very well for me. I'm kind of more of a sensitive person to what I want to say. I was going to say mind altering substances, but maybe metabolic altering substances, probably. I had a girlfriend during the majority of the time that I was on Aphro-D, so that was handy. But at the same time, there was a good deal of frustration because she wasn't at all prepared to deal with morning wood, basically. So I mean, there was way too much of it going on for her.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, and that's totally understandable. I mean, she is 40 something, I'm 50 something, and people just aren't that horny.
Yeah.
At that point in time. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I think I answered the question.
Yeah, fair enough. What else? What other kind of effects other than morning wood? What else? How else do you feel?
I would say recovery is maybe a little better from sports activities. I think I'm looking for more recovery oriented, like figure out what kind of protein shakes or something. What other benefits of Aphro-D? It's just a good deal of energy throughout the day. I did find that it has a curve. I'm trying to do this on the screen, but
Okay.
Right. Just about any product you take, but particularly a stimulant, is going to have a dose response curve. So you take it in the morning, you're gonna come down at some point in the afternoon. Right. So I mean, is that your experience?
See, I actually take it in the afternoon. I'm a late afternoon. I don't take it in the morning. I prefer to take it later on. And yeah, I've always been I'm a later person. I never liked mornings. So that's the thing, is everyone has their own experiences with Aphrodite. Some people take it in the morning, some people take it before they sleep. Everyone's different. Because I think you remember you telling me you only take 1 capsule. Is that right? You don't take
at this point in time, I'm just taking 1. That's the thing, is I'm actively working toward, in the internet dating. So if I get a girlfriend, I'll probably take more of it. The other thing is depends on the level of activity. I would certainly take it before a trip to the mountains. I could increase that. If I knew I was going to exercise all day, I could take more of it.
So that's very interesting. So the fact that you're not as active sexually or physically is determined by how much of a dosage you'll take. So you won't take 4 capsules because it's too much energy. Yeah.
Right now, 4 capsules is too much.
Okay.
There's some other variances. If I find if I keep the caffeine out, that's another thing that I quit drinking coffee like 5 years ago, but I still drink tea. We all love tea, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You over in England probably know more about tea than I ever. So if the other stimulants can be removed, then one can take more Aphrodite. And sugar is a stimulant. You got to cut that stuff out. It's really across the board. Sugar is just 100% bad for you.
Yeah, I mean 100%. I think there's a lot of kind of initiatives out there, especially. Well, I'm not too sure in America, but here for sure they're doing all these kind of sugar taxes and other things they're trying to implement to encourage people to eat less sugar. But I don't know if it will work or not, but I think a lot of it will come down to, like we said before, self-education, kind of empowering people to learn about these things, and let people make up their own mind, based on, rather than force it down their throat and taxing everyone. We should just educate people better, I think.
Yeah. Well, Americans are kind of like blunt force people. We need that things forced down our throat. Apparently, I don't know what our deal is, but we're kind of stubborn as a people, I would say.
I was going to ask.
I have been out of the country a little. I've at least not stayed here my whole life. Yeah, I have. I've been to Germany.
Okay.
Switzerland, Spain, and South Africa. So
okay, that's a big mix there. Yeah, different.
Yeah, I did travel a little bit. I happen to know German, so that was. I have friends in Germany, and I work as a tour guide for German tourists. So that was one of my jobs in the past. Picked up the language and got some friends, and I liked. Of course, this is all before COVID. But I've been to Germany 5 times.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I was going to say, what are your goals now? Like your specifically fitness goals?
Right. Well,
health and fitness goals.
Getting into, I know you talked to. It said on the blurb for our meeting that it would be a goal setting meeting. So yeah, I really need to have some new goals. Really. Every year, I mean, fitness is a seasonal thing. I mean, you stay fit all year, but in the summer, I'm getting fit for rock climbing. In the winter, I'm getting fit for skiing. So there's slightly different programs. One of the goals is always to have the 6-pack abs, right? I'm sure you probably have them, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
Well, that's something you can do. I'm a smaller guy. I'm not a hugely tall man or anything, but you don't have to be a big person to get abs. So abs is always a goal.
Yep.
The other goal is really general, just sort of anti-aging, just to stay fit and stay tall and strong and on into my later years. So I don't have specific goals. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, you see, that's the thing is often, I wasn't planning on saying this, but sometimes on the group, people will be disappointed by results, no game results. And often the question we ask them is, what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Are you just taking the Aphro-D and doing nothing? Or, because the Aphro-D is obviously going to help you. It's going to resolve a lot of issues internally, but there are other things you need to do as well. You still need to eat, you still need to train. So based on what your goals are will determine the result, will help the result. Okay. It will make the result come faster, so to speak. So, if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating more food, obviously you're not going to lose weight. Or if you want to build muscle and you just assume muscle is going to just be built, put on automatically without actually lifting the weight, you're not going to put on the muscle. So the kind of training you do will determine the result you have. So in terms of suggestion, I think you spoke about it before. I think you mentioned like the online dating and trying to, before you go on your mountain walks, you'll take a bit more Aphro-D, but perhaps you should up your training a little bit, just to kind of
I think so.
Up your training a bit more. Yeah,
that would not hurt a bit.
Strength training, especially. We talk about strength training a lot because it's just the literature suggests that it would increase muscle, it would stimulate muscle building muscle and also help you lose weight. So you get 2 for the price of 1. So maybe doing a bit more strength training could be something you could do.
I would agree with that. Yeah, sure. Right now, I can't. Right now, I just got the shot for COVID, so one of my arms is very sore. So I can't think about pumping iron right now.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to ask you is, you're one of the actually first people, probably in the company to actually taking Aphro-D. So, what would be your message to other guys? Because you mentioned that group. Do you know what was the name of the group that you're part of that you found Aphro-D from?
Oh, it was the Fight Club.
It's very
Fight Club. Small.
It's still there.
Very small.
It still exists. Yeah. Is it still there?
Yeah.
It is. Okay. Is it still active or?
It is. It is.
Okay.
There's only about 9 of us. So
Oh, okay. That's funny. Yeah. Okay.
it's
No,
pretty small.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, if there's like, a lot of guys are lost or have no direction, what would you say to the guys out there, kind of like your age or a little bit younger, how, what should they do to kind of get to a better place in their life?
Oh, well, definitely one of the keys is to stop masturbating. I mean, that's definitely something you really gotta, if you're gonna have goals and move outward and stuff, and that's something that, and the Aphro-D tribe talks about that from time to time. But if testosterone should be used in a positive way toward other people, and not turning that sexual energy in on yourself. It's kind of
Interesting.
defeats the purpose. So what would I say to other people who don't have specific goals is just stay with it and believe in the process. I've gotten a lot out of just, I'm a social person. I like being around people, and I'm a good listener. I try to, I take advice, and, I'd call up Andre from time to time,
Okay.
and I was, texting with Farhan, and he always answers my text, and Farhan is very good about responding. So there's that, but yeah, stick with it and trust in the process, and then to be patient. So yeah, I would like to have better goals for myself, but I feel great about having been with the tribe for this long, and just I can take suggestions. Yeah, I'm 56, but I am definitely open to suggestions, and I'm not set in my ways. I'm very willing to learn from other people.
I mean, the truth is, I say, what are your goals? If you're happy with your goals, you don't necessarily have to change them. You just refine them a little bit. Just, variety.
What are your goals?
What am I? That's a very, that's a good question.
Hey, you asked me.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. One of them, I think one of them, I've been I used to lift for many years in Olympic weightlifting. I used to compete for many years, and I still been wanting to hit certain targets for many years. So one of them is still trying to hit those big weights that I've been wanting to get, just once or twice, and I'll be happy. I don't know if I'll get there, but I'll keep trying. Another one is just to continue building the things that I'm doing, the business I'm doing, and getting more involved in Aphro-D and the other things. I'd say those are probably the two main goals. I'd say, yeah. I don't want to give myself too many things to do, but those are probably the priorities at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, that's what.
I've always admired the people who had clear-cut goals. I had one friend that was a climbing partner, and he knew he wanted to be a doctor since he was 13. And
wow.
now he's retired now, but he was the head of the respiratory department at a major hospital and everything. And he just always knew exactly what he wanted to do. And so I guess I've always admired people who had a specific professional goal. There's personal goals, professional goals, and physical goals, right? So
yeah.
You've got well-defined physical goals. I think it's a good topic for you and I, or for Aphro-D guys. Setting some goals, setting something that's attainable. And what time of year it is, right? It's like coming up on the new year.
Yeah,
right?
Christmas, the good old Christmas. Yeah.
Set some goals for 2022.
I know the resolutions. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Aphro-D tribe could build a little a program or around that. What are we all going to do for 2022?
Yeah, I mean, there is something coming out very soon. We got Andre. He's got his thing happening soon, which will be revealed very soon. So yeah, that's definitely something on the cards, and you'll see it soon. You'll see it as well. We're all very excited about it. So.
I talked to Farhan too, since he had this is a year or two ago probably, but he had developed this herb specifically for boosting testosterone. Could he also not develop one for prostate health? That's something that guys your age probably don't think about. But guys my age are totally
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
if as guys your age become guys my age, right? You
Very
know,
true. This is very true. Yeah.
20 years from now, Aphro-D tribe is going to be going strong, and we're all going to be older. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something we can ask him. Yeah. He will watch this interview and he'll probably be laughing and he'll probably, be like, yeah, that's something.
well,
Yeah.
send that one up the pipeline.
Oh, I will. Yeah. I'm sure there's lots of great things that people suggest. It's whether they're practical or not to do. It's whatever system that Farhan does to work out what best to do. But yeah, it's definitely something worthwhile. And maybe there is something out there that no one knows about as
Well,
well.
he's
We don't know.
a very smart man. I
Yeah.
mean, there's that. I mean, he has an agile mind, and he processes information very, very quickly.
There's a lot.
So,
There are like not to say that there's a magical pill out there, but you'll be surprised how there's small pockets of people out there that know how to solve these problems. It's just you just don't know about it. You don't hear about it, or they're like based in the middle of nowhere and they have no reason to do marketing and telling the whole world about it, or like remote places in China, like they're taking like the athletes there are probably taking drugs and stuff that we don't know about, that don't exist in the Western world. They just don't know about it. No one knows about it because it's so secretive. But there might be things out there, but you're right. They're 100%. We need to have these things, and they need to be created and designed for the good of mankind, I guess. Especially where we are.
There's always like your sort of indigenous peoples that have one big solutions to things. What's really big around here is the whole ayahuasca thing. Have you heard about that?
No, what is that? No, what is it?
Ayahuasca is a drug developed by the tribes down in Central America, and like a group of people get together and they take a trip down to Central America, and they meet up with a shaman.
Oh,
and then they do this drug-induced state where everybody's pretty much flat on their back for hours and hours, and then the shaman is kind of babysitting while they have this massive psychological experience.
Oh, okay. Have you done that?
Ayahuasca. No.
Okay.
Not ready for that yet.
Okay.
But look it up.
I'll look it up.
I think it starts with an AYU or an AYH or something. Ayahuasca. Anyway,
Interesting.
I haven't done that yet, but there's groups of indigenous people that know all kinds of things about herbs and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
What Farhan has done is to synthesize a bunch of products into one thing that works really, really well. And
I mean, a lot of things in life is simplicity. Like that's one thing that I believe in and promote always, is just trying to keep things simple. If something works, keep doing it. You don't have to look for some complicated formula or work out. If something works for you, keep carrying on doing. If it doesn't work for you, change it.
Yeah,
simple as that. Change it up.
For
all right.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, David. Well, thank you very much for your time. We'll hopefully speak again and see where you are then, see where your goals have taken you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sure. And you can shut off the recording. I had a couple of quick questions.
Oh yeah, sure.
But,
okay.
Yeah, no, great. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'm honored to be part of the solution here.
Great. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and we're going to carry on talking. Okay.